Hallelujah, Israel. Arise, 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 all righteous. Hallelujah. It's the Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. Our hearts should be indicted in a good matter. Let us greet one another. Hallelujah. In the beauty of Yah.
Joseph and his coat of many colors, you wrap your love around us. Like David rejoiced before your face, your love dances over us. In Jesus we found our secret place, our trust in you forever.
Underneath
gold of many colors. You wrap your love around us. Like David, rejoice before your face. Your love dances over us. In Jesus we found our secret place. I will trust in you forever. He that dwells in the secret place shall abide underneath his grace. He that calls on the name of Yah will be sheltered. Ooh. He that dwells in the secret place shall abide underneath his grace. He that calls on the name of Yah will be sheltered. Jesus, you are my refuge, my fortress. In you will I trust. In you will I trust. on us, give us more. Holy Spirit, rain on us, let it pour. Holy Spirit, breathe on us, give us more. Holy Spirit, rain on us, let it pour. Holy Spirit, breathe on us, give us more. Holy Spirit, rain on us, let it pour. Holy Spirit, breathe on us. Jesus, you are my refuge, my fortress. You will I trust. You will I trust. Jesus, you are my refuge, my fortress. You will I trust. You will I trust. Jesus, you are. Rain on us, let it pour. You will I trust. Holy Spirit, rain on us, give us more. Holy Spirit, rain on us. Trust in you forever. Trust in you forever. I will trust in you forever. I will trust in you forever. I will trust in you Holy Spirit, rain on us, let it pour. Holy Spirit, breathe on us, give us more. Holy Spirit, rain on us, let it pour. Holy Spirit, breathe on us, give us more. Holy Spirit, rain on us, let it pour. Holy Spirit, breathe on us, give us more. Holy Spirit, rain on us, let it pour. Holy Spirit, breathe on us, give us more. Holy Spirit, rain on us, let it pour. Holy Spirit, breathe on us, give us more. Jesus, you are. Holy Spirit, rain on us, let it pour. Holy nations will rise.
Kings will fall. Kingdoms will fall.
Many turn away, many shall betray.
Kings will fall. Kingdoms will fall.
You will hear of wars, nations will rise.
Kingdoms will fall.
Many turn away, many shall betray.
Kings will fall.
Kings will fall.
Love will wax cold. Prophets will rise. Shall live and not
Shall
die.
live and not die. Love will wax cold. Prophets will rise.
Shall live and not
I wanna
die. Tell me what will be in the end of day.
How long, how long?
Tell me what will be in the end of day.
Tell me, won't you tell me now?
Tell me what will be in the end of day.
Tell me, won't you tell me now?
Tell me
Tell me
what will be in the end of day. You will hear of wars, nations will rise. Will fall, kingdoms will fall. Many turn away, many shall betray. Kings will fall, kingdoms will fall. You will hear of wars, nations will rise. Kingdoms will fall. Many turn away, many shall betray. Kings will fall. Love will wax cold. Prophets will rise. Shall live and not
Shall live and not die.
die.
Love will wax
And Elohim spoke all these words, saying, I am Yahweh your Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, and now thus is slavery. You have mounted my tombs against my face. You do not make for yourself a carved image, or any likeness of that, which is in the heavens above, or which is in the earth beneath, or which is in the waters under the earth. You do not bow down to them, nor serve them, for I am Yahweh your Elohim, I am jealous El, visiting the crookedness of the fathers on the children, to the third and fourth of those who hate me, but shall unknown commitment to the 1,000 of those who love me and guard my commands. You do not bring the name of Yahweh your Elohim to naught, for Yahweh does not leave unpunished who brings his name to naught. Remember the Shabbat to set it apart. 6 days you labor to do all your work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath, the Yahweh Elohim. In it not do any work. You, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male slave, nor your female slave, nor your cattle, nor stranger within your gates. For 6 days you have the heaven and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them. Rest the 7th day. Therefore you have blessed the Sabbath day, set it apart. Respect your father and your mother, so your days are prone upon the soil which Yahweh has given you. You do not murder, you do not commit adultery, you do not steal, you do not bear false witness against your neighbor, you do not covet your neighbor's house, you do not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male slave, nor his female slave, nor his ox, nor his donkey, whatsoever belongs to your neighbors.
All right, hallelujah. Glory to the King. God's good. Heavenly Father, we do thank you for all things, allowing us to come to the completion of one of the spring feasts. We thank you for the safe journey for everybody back home. We do need your healing hand upon us, some of us. This cough and everything else is going on. But we need you to speak to us your words of truth this morning. And pray these sayings sink deep down our hearts in the magnificent name of Yeshua. Hallelujah. You may be seated. Man, I've been battling this cough for about who knows how long. 3 days, 4 days, something like that. I'm usually one that hardly ever gets sick. And I know what happened this time. I'm, going on 4 or 5 days and 2 hours of sleep each night, maybe 3. And then if it is sometime 4, and then you get interrupted in the middle of the night because you ain't really interrupted, you know what I mean? That's just the way it is. Just keep going and going and going and going and going. Then you're not eating much. Y'all feel sorry for me now? You like my violin? Sound like you was a fool, Pastor. But I couldn't be out much because I tried to do something to be recovered, because here in a few days I got to take off and leave and go up there to be with the northern tribes of Israel and Canada. So there's always something going on with us. So we thank the Father for what has happened. There's been a lot of testimonies come in about how that many people have been healed. So we're going to press to make it through the day. All right. Hallelujah. There we go. Put me a little bit more bass. You can turn the sensitivity down a little bit. I can adjust it, though. But today, I need you to listen to me. I got 2 things I need to go over. The main thing we're going to talk about is the spirit of rejection. Because that's what I picked up more than anything during mass deliverance when I'm walking through the crowds and stuff, is the spirit of rejection. I usually try. I was planning on actually doing a service for the Feast of Unleavened Bread, but I didn't do it because I wouldn't have been able to give a good service, mainly because I've been laying down on my rear end for the last 2 days, if you know what I mean, before that. So I figured everybody would just read the scriptures for themselves. Heads of house will take care of their own family. Oh, hallelujah. Maybe a new concept today, yeah. Maybe a new one, huh? Anybody know what the word altruism is? Altruism. A-L-U-T-R-I-M-S. Anybody know what it means? We're working on it, but we'll get there. That means that to break it down in the lowest common denominator, you care more for others than you do yourself. Now, why they got to come up with all them fancy words, I don't know. Just say, I don't care about others, and I need to. That makes sense, don't it? Glory to the King. Some of y'all still got the cough and nothing. We also just go da 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 da. Make everybody feel better, don't it? At least one thing, you can act like you're shouting today. Hallelujah! Glory to the King. You ain't going to interrupt me if you got a cough, though. Father's good, isn't he? All right. Now, instead of taking notes today, you know, faith come by hearing by the word of God, right? So, hear first. All right? You always go back and revisit the message, but hear. All right? I'm also working on something I can tell everybody to do to hopefully try to bulletproof our immune system. I got a little bit better this time. Wasn't expecting this. I did realize the hundreds of thousands of chemtrails they had above us. Anybody notice that beside me? Tell the truth. Sometimes it make you want to take your gun out of your holster and just start shooting up that on. Bullet ain't gonna reach you, but it's still it's worth a try though, isn't it? 50 cal may reach. I heard somebody say that. Now, glory to the King. All right. You know, other countries, they don't have the troubles and issues that we've got. You know, and the Bible talks about that he causeth all. Notice there's a cause. You hit it? The mark of the beast, when it comes, when it's implemented, it's not going to be something forced. Because it has to be a compliance of your will. Y'all hear me? It says, so he causeth all, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. Is that right? Notice he causeth. So what they're going to do is they're going to more than likely make you an offer you can't refuse. For instance, you know you got to go to work in order to provide food on the table, shelter, is that right? And clothing. That's the way the society has you all programmed. You get it? Is that right? All of us. So they'll say, you can't go to work, can't get a check, because we have a new policy. You have to receive this mark. Now, most people will say, right off the bat, I ain't receiving that mark. Hell with you. Well, 3 weeks goes and the lights ain't on. You wasn't wise enough to store food because you thought we were some stupid people. You're getting ready to get evicted because you don't want to listen to. There's a big-eyed preacher in Lafayette, Tennessee, has been screaming and hollering for decades, get out of the city, get a little plot of land. If you can actually, you know, live together in unity, get together with a group of saints, save up some money, get a little plot of land, and start growing your own food and do the things that our old grandmamas and great-grandmamas used to do, which is can food and grow your greens. I mean, my grandmother, 20 miles from here over in Gainesboro, my granddaddy actually owned his own plumbing business. During the time of the Great Depression, he built his own house with his own hands and had his own business. And they didn't experience anything in Great Depression, especially not missing any meals, because they grew their own food. Foreign concept now, isn't it? Foreign concept. That's something for a black man in the 30s and 40s and 50s. Yes, it is, and he's about as black as that speaker. About this tall. And of course, he ended up having his life snuffed out of him short. Had somebody in the family envious and jealous of him, shot him dead. Own blood. Of course, when I heard the story, I was like 6, 7 years old. And I said, where's he at? Where's the gun? I'll go get him. I was like 6, 7 years old. I'll go get him myself. You know what I mean? I guess it's just in us. But going back over this, that cause, and you didn't prepare, when that belly starts aching, them children start crying, you're going to have thoughts that's going to enter into your mind. It's going to cause you to reconsider. Next thing you know, you're going to start twisting and warping scripture. You're going to start rationalizing. Oh, y'all ain't done. He knows I got to eat. Ain't no pain. He knows I just got to mock his number the flesh, but he knows my heart. You know your philosophy, don't you? He know your wicked heart, don't he? And so you try to make y'all like you. And if you're really, truly a true set-apart Israelite, during that time, he said he'll have a place prepared for you in the wilderness, and he was the one going to get you there. Hold on, stop for a second. Yeshua saw Nathaniel. He said, that's a true Israelite in whom there is no guile. You full of it. You full of guile, discord, mischief, griping, murmuring, complaining, can't get along, murmuring and fighting against each other all the time. And he ain't going to let you in this wilderness because he's the one going to put us there. Uh-oh. And y'all know them that he is. He says, any man don't have the spirit of y'all, then he's what? None of his. You can't tell me that you have the spirit of y'all and you have conflict with your sister wife. When your husband don't want that in his family, that's dishonor and disrespect. You dishonor and disrespect him, you do it to the Most High. And if you can't believe that, Yahshua said, whatever you've done to the least of these, you've done also to me. So we can break it down now. It's just that some of us don't want to be sanctified. Uh-oh. I mean, the Torah clearly says, way back then, this what we're doing today is nothing new. He says, I have severed you from the people. Severed you. And some of us so knitted with them, we can't even get severed. Uh-oh. So knitted and entwined. So integrated with them. See what I mean? You know, all this stuff don't make sense. Can you cut them fans off above the pulpit? None of this stuff makes any sense until crap hits the fan. I think it's the heightened sense of selfishness when someone is prepared and spend years preparing and you hadn't prepared and you expect for the grace of Yah to come over and they're supposed to open up their doors to you and receive you. And you eat up all their resources and stuff. If you are ungrateful and unthankful then, you're going to be ungrateful and unthankful then. If you're apathetic and passive then, you're going to be apathetic and passive then. If you're overbearing then, when you get over here, you're going to be demanding and overbearing, even though you prepared nothing, because that's the way the sorry, wicked, unregenerated human nature is. That's you. And what the word says, there'll be a generation to be unthankful and unholy, ungrateful, unthankful, and unholy. He's talking about that was written. I've been hearing lately that the Bible was written for another time. Then why the hell you believed in? See, that's the dumb folks that don't read Jesus Christ the same yesterday and forever. I'm Yahweh Elohim, I change not. You get it? There's a lot of people going to get in trouble and be in trouble. So there's going to be a cause. Well, today, they're trying to come up with causes to force vaccinate Everybody. I got to do a video about this, bro. Darrell sent me a news source. The mayor of New York clearly told all the citizens, you don't own yourselves, we own you. See the reason why we need to keep our guns in our hand? You're going to have to pick a day to draw a line in the sand. I often say over and over again, I say, I remember the Boston Tea Party. I talk about history a lot. I know that many of you skipped history class or didn't get it at all. You know what I mean? I talk about history a lot because most of us forget. You understand what I mean? Our history is who won the Super Bowl this year. You got to know history. And boy, you can tell we've forgotten as a nation. Over 1 cent. It caused a great war in this country. Well, now we up to what, 52% of our income? And it's keep going up every single year. They extort from us. And there ain't no outrage. They're just, well, that's just the law. We just got to do what we got to do. Why don't you do something about it? I am. Doing plenty about it. Look at them looking. I would do a whole lot more about it if I had give me at least 500,000 people that believe me. See what I'm saying? But you can't get us together on an issue like this. You can't get us together on the issue about believing. You can't even get you to believe that you need a can of beans in your home for a rainy day. So how can I get you to do anything else? Oh. See, everybody hates hearing that faith that we're supposed to be believing always requires right action. Requires diligence. Men, that's all on us. The preparation, preparing, the provisions, shelter, the clothing, the food. Women and children are supposed to depend on us for that. Let me tell y'all, sisters, y'all better hit y'all knees so hard until they become like tree bark. Because that's the only thing gonna move these hard-head folk. Because y'all ain't gonna come down and do it themselves. You better pray for whoever's in front of you. And don't make sure you don't cancel out your prayer by being rebellious and disrespectful. Did I say something wrong, man? Anything? Want to know? Oh, y'all, it's better for me to go back down there and lay on the couch then, huh? Put do not disturb sound door. Pastor, you sick? Go ahead and stop. It's the Shabbat. Go ahead and rest today. Huh? All these things you better be start thinking about. Because things ain't getting better. Getting worse. This is real talk. Really consider what I'm saying. Y'all hear me? What would cause you to even think about receiving a mark? I'll help build your faith here a little bit. There's a chapter over in the book of Abraham called Hebrews. The 11th chapter. It talks about all the, if I can use this term, be pure, the icons, the patriots, the warriors, how they stood. Probably ought to read that. And then anytime you come across a name, go back to the account and read it. Y'all see that video I put up on Patreon about the slave Bible? Boy, they gutted this thing. What did the book say about anybody who takes away from the prophecy of this book? Somebody believed it, somebody didn't, isn't it? So I mean, as America's doomed, so don't depend on America's military might to save you, because Rome had the same thing. Rome had the same thing. There's always been persecution in the very place that you live. Always been. There are people that had to actually leave France because of the religious persecution, because the Catholics was burning Protestants at the stakes. and they had to flee. Came across something this morning. I said, man, that is just the truth. Y'all know I pretty much, I like Nigel Farage, y'all know. He's the head of the MP party over in Brussels. See, over here we got the House and the Senate. Over there they got the Commons and the Lords. And their political system is a little bit different than ours. We got presidents, but they can't get nothing passed because they're elected by the people, but they got to block the House and the Senate. You understand? I mean, can't get nothing done hardly. Over there, it's the Parliament itself that actually elects who's going to be the next prime minister, because you elected them, select allegedly. You know what I mean? You got to play the game. You know what I mean? Even though we all know what's going on. You know what I mean? Brussels, D.C., Washington, D.C. comparison. He gave a good definition, very good definition of journeyman refugees. That's what he called it. I stopped to go, journeyman refugees. I never heard that before. At least I hope that's what I heard. If I didn't, that's what I heard though. You know, it's like when I'm preaching, I tell you something, it's for somebody else, and you hear something else, and you go do the direct opposite. You be making up stuff as you go. I said, journeyman refugees. Journeyman refugees. I said, damn, that's what I am. That's what we are. So I hit play again. He said, a real true refugee is not someone fleeing their homeland because they're hungry. It's because of some type of persecution. But now he's termed it racial, religious, and orientation. You follow me? I said, in that case, man, I stop. I definitely feel that. Except we ain't fleeing. We're not bugging out either. We bugging in. Don't spend too much time, energy, and effort here to be bugging out. Thank you. Yeah, stand. Having done all to stand. In other words, people back then were leaving countries because of the religious persecution, and they became refugees. Of course, then you go look at the Geneva Convention in 1951, that's exactly the way it reads. That is the definition of a refugee. You can't say nothing because you don't know. I expect you to just sit down and look at me. Same way you did a teacher in history class. Did you look it up? No. Why? Because I have a working knowledge of some history. And I can start connecting dots here and there. That's why I stopped. I go, that's how I could come to the conclusion. That's me. When I moved to this little small town right here, these folks hated me. They still do. It's just that many of the old people done died off because I outlived them for the last 20 years. I mean, youth does have its privileges sometimes. You don't have them. And then their children have moved off because they're not raising no tobacco. You see tobacco everywhere up here, didn't you? Ain't getting out in them fields. You don't see nobody in them fields now. Nobody. I mean, even the cows ain't in the field. I almost hit a cow yesterday on Galen Road because he jumped the fence. He didn't want to be in the field. About 3 cars did. So the people ain't in the fields and the cows ain't in the fields. So the generation is free in the coop because nobody believes in that old concept of hard work. The very inheritance that their parents and them leave them, they don't, So we receive a religious dislike. They call that persecution. I just call it this. I just go along with the thing because I don't really care what the people on the outside think or believe anyway. Only the people on the inside. As Paul said, they added nothing to me. Y'all get that? If they add nothing to you, then why even worry about them? Does that make sense? Hallelujah. Glory to the King. I guess some of you figured out that when our lead trainer here, he had to kick a lot of people off the range this time. I guess some of you figured out, I told you we weren't going to come up there looking like a nonchalant reject of Gomer Pyle and get on that range. I told you it wasn't going to happen. And then some of you that should have been there, you still didn't show up. I talked to a young man here. You know, if you are younger than me, you're a young man. Is that all right? Okay, good. And I ain't that old. You don't believe me? Ask Brother Bud and Brother James and Elder Doug. Walk past me and say, hey, man, say, you got a firearm on you? Yeah. I said, yeah. I said, you know how to use it? Well, how many times you been in the range? How many times you ever shot it? Yeah, maybe a few times. I said, you in trouble. As you people think that because you carry a firearm, that somebody going to be scared of you. Now, I tell them a little story. I say, you ever heard of the Wild Wild West? You ever heard of them? Everybody carry firearms. You disrespect someone today, that day could have been the end of your life. Because they were fast on the draw. Are you listening? Yes, sir. I'm listening. I said, so what good is it to have a gun on you and you don't know? What, are you going to be one of your little street gangsters? I said, but what if you come against somebody like me that has a skill set, or like Brother Gideon? You can just count it out. You finished. Before you even try to reach, a bullet be right between your eyes. Isn't that sad? You got a gun, but you don't know how to use it. Don't you think you should be paying attention, try to learn how to arm yourself and protect yourself, at least protect your family, something like that? Yeah. Have you even been to the beginner handgun class? No. Brother Brent had one down there. We told you about it. I know you did. You got a gun, but you ain't never been to the beginner handgun class. Is that right? Yeah, it's because you're not a beginner, right? You're an expert, right? He's sitting up there. You know, he feeling like he on a hot seat. I was like, young man, all that I'm trying to do is get you to think. It ain't going to do you no good to run around with all the latest gee-whiz gadgets, looking like a toy soldier, and you don't even use your equipment. You don't know what you're doing. Didn't I see you give a prone class? Was you doing the prone unsupported? All this stuff is there. Well, what is that stuff? Even though I'm not the one responsible for the training now, I go back there and check to see how the training is doing. I look and see who's interested and who's not interested. Because when I go back there, I look to see for my own self, okay, who can I depend on is going to be the warriors? Oh, okay, good. That's dual purpose everything. That's what I do. Talking about, oh, Pastor, I ain't think about that. You ain't thinking anyway, so what are you going to do? Start making stuff more dangerous for us? So maybe the next time I see him at beginner handgun class, huh? Does that make sense? Moses, well, I ain't got time. You here visiting on the land. What more you got to do? You wasn't up here. You was not up here on the tabernacle helping. I saw you wandering around aimlessly like a stray dog that just got some buckshot in his ass because you trespassed on a neighbor's land. And you ain't got time. Wasting time. See, it shows us that no matter how much examples or how many examples we have in front of us, is not motivation enough for actually do something about ourselves. How can you be renewed and transformed unless you put yourself in a position to be? I'm sorry, maybe these movies got y'all. Y'all think y'all can buy an SD card and put it inside your head and download all the information. Next thing you know, you're an expert in everything. That just don't happen in real life. It don't happen. You got to learn how to think. I tell you, do it now young, because it's harder when you're old. You're hard. You become, even if you were stubborn young, guess what you done did when you get older? You done tripled the amount. Can nobody tell you nothing? So if you can apply yourself now, it'll be a whole lot better for you later. That make sense? Right now I'm just rambling. No, you preach. No, I'm just rambling. I'm rambling because who gonna believe it? Who gonna believe it enough to live it? Because you're never really truly gonna know what change is all about until you actually do it. You can look into something all day long, and that's all you can do is looking into it. You're not becoming a greater man because you were able to look into something. You got to become a doer. D-O-E-R. Delta, Oscar, Echo, Sierra. You want to do. Doer. And that's how you become wise. I said it again, somebody the other day. Now, y'all know who that somebody is, right? When I say I said to somebody, that means I talked to somebody, but I'm not telling you their name. Okay? So when I said to somebody again the other day. We're talking, ba 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 ba. All right? So then another sister starts talking about the subject. Mind you, the sister has a greater working knowledge of the subject than I do. I'll give you an example, herbs. Okay? So here's a young woman, done read 2 pages in an herbal book. Oh, I read that before. I did. Older woman just sit there. Anytime you hear older people or see older people just shut up when you start talking, what they're doing is saying, thou fool. And you, it don't even enter your mind. You just blah, 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 and they're sitting there. Don't even interrupt. I do it all the time. I start talking about something, man, next thing you know, here comes Johnny come lately. Blah, blah, blah. I just said and listen. I don't even ask them how they finish. I know when I left that conversation, they still just as dumb as they started. Because at that time, they're wanting to do the instructing and teaching and stuff. They are not ready to be taught. I'm always in the teaching mode. We always hear people say, well, I wish we had that knowledge. It's in the grave. If they came out of the grave and gave you that knowledge, would you listen? Because there's an account in the book that said if somebody come back from the grave, they won't even believe. So you still got people still here alive trying to give you the knowledge, and you still ain't believing. Uh-oh. Y'all hear this? Yes, so I put a good defibrillator on your mind, Israel. Time is really short. Well, they said that 50 years ago. They dead. Time was short, wasn't it? Don't be looking for the end. When you sitting up here contemplating nothing from the end, your end could come at any moment. You better be looking for what you can actually put into yourself of Yah every single day, rather than letting the day be wasted and go by. One day, you may be able to thank the Father that you set yourself aside for that time to learn, because you may need that knowledge. Just think differently, don't we? All right. If anyone has a continual denial of the validity of the law, what kind of denial? A continual denial of the validity of the law. It constitutes a denial of the message of our master, the Messiah. Y'all need to get this because you're going to be dealing with Christians who deny the law. Now, the wordsmith games that they play all the time. You believe in the commandments? Oh, yeah, I love the commandments. Well, what about the law? Oh, it's done away with. I say, are you stupid or were you practicing it every day? Which one are you? This is the rationalization of today for real. This is the mental gymnastics that they're playing. And that people are confused by. Now, mind you, you drop the word on them, you give it to them, and y'all ain't open to understand it. Don't waste your time. You have to discern to see if y'all's dealing with people. Y'all hear me? Discern that. This is what's greatly lacking in the generation we're living in now. That's what's greatly lacking. Because if you really truly had the real true him, you're going to walk in the same path I'm walking because there's only one way. You may not be in the same place, but you're going to have the same experiences on the same path. Is that right? You're going to walk past a certain street, it's still going to be there. But you stay on the path. You're going to have the same experience. So don't nobody tell me and run up to me that you are unique. You are special. There's only one way to y'all. And on this journey, many of us are at different places on the road. You can only stay on that road and continue on that road if you're led by the, because the ones that are led by the Spirit of Yah, these are the of Yah. So don't give me no detour answers. Does this make sense? Rejection. Did you get the right slide? I'll give you the one. All right, we'll just have to go the other way. I think I moved the other one, but we'll go there. To conquer rejection, you have to let Satan know who you are. To fight this spirit, you cannot go about life passively. You must know that you're a child of the King, and Satan and his demons are not. Satan is ruthless and will use anyone who is submitted to him at his will to destroy you. And I know how I sound at times, and I'm fully aware of how I'm perceived by those on the outside world. But they're not my center of attention and focus. You are. You understand, Israel? Now listen, just because I'm a pastor, shepherd, that does not mean that I'm a shepherd to the whole world. Does that make sense? I concern myself with sheep. What do I concern myself with? Sheep. And the sheep that he has in his pasture. And that is you, who receive me, as is Jeremiah 3:15. See, only to you who he has placed in my pasture, because I'm a steward, a caretaker. Let me explain. My job, just for a second, okay? I need for y'all to listen real close, because it's not just a title that's there, it's a living function and a calling. Psalms 23, Yahweh said, oh, man, what happened to my Eric, where's my slides at, man? Hold on, y'all. All right, good. It's still there. It's just, man, that thing went. You know what happened? I'm going from a Mac to a PC. Whew. Psalms 23. Yahweh is my shepherd, and I shall not what? So who's the shepherd? Yahweh is the what? And he's the reason why we shall not want. Is that right? Let's walk this thing down for a second, because the word shepherd means raha. Someone tends, he has a pastor, tends, graze, feeds, to shepherd, to rule, or teacher. The people as a flock, all of it figuratively, right? Shepherd, herdsman. sustainability to P's and G's. All right? So there's a shepherd watching over the flock of Yah. You follow me? Now, he is not the great shepherd. He's an under shepherd. And he's watching over the flock of Yah. You know, in concrete terms, Hebraic terms, we use concrete terms. We use all type of analogies all the time of concrete things, like so you can be able to, your senses can pick up on. So right here, sheep. The sheep, is it talking about sheep or is it talking about people? Is it talking about sheep or is it talking about people? Everybody woke now? Is that what y'all do? Is that the new phase today? Somebody ask you a question, you just sit and look at them? Oh, I'm in deep religious meditation, Pastor. I'm trying to figure out where you're going. Yeah. So he's made somebody a shepherd to watch over the flock of Yah. Is that right? Oh, the devil gonna fight us today because this thing ain't moving, Ariel. There it is. Is it up there? Yahshua said, beware of false prophets which come to you in what? We've had many of them come through here over the years. You've seen them come and go. All of them prophesy, and everything. And the shepherd always gets them. You can tell because there's always some type of conflict because they get exposed. You get it? But the false prophets come to you in what kind of clothing? But inwardly they're what? Now check this out right here. Look. Isn't that a good example? Come on now. He in there, ain't he? Something's going on, man. All right, look at that one. Hiding right amidst the sheep. See, it's up to the shepherd to make sure that he get the wolves. To make sure that the wolf don't get to the flock. Y'all get it? He said two of them in there. That's what the shepherd was actually made to do. Because the sheep can't fight for themselves. You get it? That area, why is this thing showing double screens? I got all kind of stuff going on up here. There's a diversity, see it? It don't show the other slide. We're going to pause for station identification. We'll be right back with you in just a moment. The whole purpose of the shepherd is to be able to watch over the flock. But notice, the flock is not scattered all over the pasture. The pasture is big, but the flock is always what? The flock is always what? Together. It's amazing how the book talks about that you be fitly joined together in the same mind. So you think together, it just actually, it also means here, right here. Right here. You get it? We had to be joined together right here. Big pasture, big world. That's why he said pastures plural, because there's plenty of pastures out there. You can go to different places where the sheep are all gathered. That's the way we're supposed to be as a people. Most of us are very slow about this gathering thing because we don't want nobody messing up our life. But if you really truly know what the book says, your life should have been done a long, long time ago. Do you know the reason why that there's divisions amongst you? Don't go scripture on me like you think you know, because you don't know where I'm going. Huh? Because everything is based on you being crossed, you being offended. Things are not done your way. Has nothing to do with the unity of the flock. All about you. Yep. Can't have harmony in a home because something ain't been done somebody's way. Now, believe it or not, when them sheep are out there in that pasture, they're able to eat, graze, do it, fed, have protection. Not because they themselves can provide it, because the shepherd is providing it. You get it? Now, if one sheep go astray, the shepherd would leave the 99 to go after one. You get it? You ever heard that analogy before? He'll leave the 99 to go back into one, to go get the one. Huh? Now, if you know the actual concept of the Hebrew ways in the Old Covenant, you continually have a sheep that continually keeps going away. Then he takes that, you ever heard of staff? Thy rod and thy... Yeah, it says it comforts me. But you don't like the kind of comfort it's going to give you. No. It said, think about it. Thy rod and thy staff comforts me. Well, again, I told you about the sheep that continue to keep going astray. You get it? You know what that rod and staff comfort? He would actually take that staff and break its leg so it can hobble around in the pasture because it won't go astray. Is that what the reason why is that what we need to do with you, some of y'all? You need your leg broke. Sure would be nice if it was in our land because I'd be glad to break them. And that would the comfort it would bring. Yeah, it would hurt, but the comfort it would bring is not so much to you. It's to comfort him. Because he ain't got to worry about you running off no more. Didn't know that what it was used for, did you? I didn't know it was used for that, Pastor. But you don't never ever see a field of sheep and they sit about arguing at each other. Anybody ever seen them? Are you not the sheep of his pasture? Yes, sir. Oh. You ever notice whenever the shepherd gets behind them and start moving, they all move in unity? So cows and sheep got more sense than we do. If we really look at the analogy. Isn't that amazing? Cows and sheep have more sense than we do as a people. So Yahweh is my shepherd, I shall not want. He leadeth me beside the what? Are we back up? You just said we're going to figure out where we at, huh? He said we kind of up. You did pretty good. So I can't see nothing, but you did pretty good. There we go. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He lead me beside the still waters. He restoreth my... He lead me in the path of righteousness for whose name's sake? Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of what? That's this world. I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, for thou what? Y'all get that? You ever seen a rebellious child get chasing? You can hit them and they'll sit down and look at you and won't even cry. They'll dig in. Pow! Can't hurt me. Pow! We had a child on this community. They said, Pastor, I don't hug the father and the mother volunteer. Said, we don't know what to do about him. So what do you mean? We tell him over and over again. He keep on doing what? Bust his tail. We do. What does he do? He just sit down and look at us. You busting his tail. He's sitting there just looking at you. You can't crack him. I said, bring him to me. I said, I'm going to tell you what you're missing. You're missing your spirit. You let your spirit be the connecting end of that rod. The rod just hit the flesh, but that spirit, it'll get down. My first whack, they said they broke off. You know, where you up? The next one, pow! Pow! Yeah! Boy, you gonna obey your parent? Pow! See? You people make mistakes because the only time you want to whoop them is when you get pissed off or inconvenient. When y'all chasing us, he chasing us with love. That's how y'all, yeah. That's how y'all do, man. Y'all don't just get beat because that's the same way your parents did you. Only when you inconvenient them got peed off and all that other stuff. Nope. Chase them with love. I can tell you this, I've never, ever whooped any of my children while I was mad and angry at them. Ain't that right? They'll tell you, I ain't never whooped any of them. Here on land, off the land, angry. Was I upset? Oh yeah. But why would you want to put the spirit of anger in them that's on you? Did I say something wrong again, man? Okay. That rod and that step, they do what? They comfort me. Staff, rod, branch, offshoot, club, scepter, tribe, club, shepherd's implement, mark of authority. Clan or what? It's amazing how the book always talks about tribalism, isn't it? Huh? Let's roll on. Support staff. Psalms 23, verse 5. You prepare us a table before me in the presence of my enemy. You anoint us my head with oil. My cup do what? Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my what? And I will dwell in the house of Yahweh forever. Well, now think about all this for a second. There's a lot of prerequisites that has to take place before surely goodness and mercy will follow you. There's a lot going on. Jeremiah the prophet said, turn, O backsliding children, saith Yahweh, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a family. How many of a family? One of a city. So, excuse me. One of a city. How many of a city? And two of a what? And will bring you to Jerusalem. Yeah, Zion is Jerusalem. Y'all get that? That ain't many. Some of you the only ones of your family that y'all's called. So you don't see this coming to pass? The only ones. Then he goes on to say this. And I, who's the I? Will give you pastors according to whose heart? Which shall feed you with what? And what? Knowledge and understanding. So let's look at this thing right here called a pastor again. Shepherd, a sheep. Israel as a flock. To associate with, to be a friend, meaning profitable, to be companions, to be a special friend. See the reason why Yahshua wanted us to be friends? See, when you're being led by him, you got a friendship that is developed. You follow me? He can give a few sounds and say, let's go this way, and the whole flock goes that way. And I will give you pastors according to my heart, which will feed you with knowledge and understanding, according to what? According to whose heart? I hate this when it's doing this. That's this Mac thing, okay? Knowledge, understanding. Man, this thing is messing me up. It's throwing me off. Knowledge of Yah. No, let's go back to this. The knowledge is the knowledge of Yah. It's not just knowledge in general. It's this knowledge, okay? Feed you. So the shepherd is supposed to feed you with the knowledge of Yah. All right? And understanding is to be prudent, to be circumspect, wisely, understanding, prosper. Look at this. Have insight. It's not just a position where you come up and say, hey, that pastor. No. That pastor's supposed to be functionable. To give attention, to consider, and do what? Ponder. Y'all get it? To have insight, to have comprehension, to cause, to consider, to give insight, teach, to act circumspectly, act prudently, act wisely, to prosper, have success, to cause to prosper. In other words, if you listen to me and you do what I tell you, you'll prosper. Ah, no, I won't. Yeah, you will too. Yeah, you will. See, it's a whole lot more to it then, isn't it? See, I've labored extensively in word and deed to feed you, and I live my life in such a manner that you can see my deeds, work ethic, and you cannot miss it unless you're blind on purpose. And to not know what I'm doing, if you can't see, I'm not, well, let me see. To not know, okay, you can't see is because you are willingly ignorant. That's your will involved. Willingly ignorant. And you are ignorant, you are ignoring the example of the voice of Yah before you. That's right. Brother Zane, get John 10, verses 1 through 16. Yahshua said in John 10, I want y'all to listen, okay? 1 through 16. Everybody's following this so far? Yes, sir. Read it when you have it.
Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door.
Okay. He that enter not by the what?
By the door.
By the door.
Into the sheepfold.
Into the what fold?
The sheepfold.
Come on.
But climbeth up some other way.
Mm-hmm.
The same is a thief and a robber.
He's a what?
Thief and
a thief and a robber. Come on.
But he that entereth in by the door
is
the shepherd of the sheep.
Go ahead.
To him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice. And he calleth his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out.
Now this talking about the good shepherd. All right, come on.
And when he putteth forth his own sheep.
You hear that? When he putteth forth his what?
Own sheep.
He just didn't say sheep. Own sheep. Come on.
He goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice.
Y'all hear that? Read.
And a stranger will they not follow.
A stranger they won't do what?
Will not follow.
They won't follow him. Won't entertain him at all. Read.
But will flee from him.
Come on.
For they know not the voice of strangers.
You know, the sheep will go, you got a different sound. You have a different tune than the voice we're used to listening to. We ain't following you. Come on.
This parable spake Jesus unto them, but they understood not what things they were which he spake unto them.
You know, Yahshua did that all the time, didn't he? He did it on purpose because he wanted to hide the things from the people who thought that they knew everything. You're so wise, but you can't hear. But my sheep, they hear my voice. Isn't that something? Huh? You know that's what this gospel, this message is all about? Do not make the mistake of thinking that everybody's supposed to hear and understand and comprehend what we're saying or even doing. If Yah doesn't open their understanding, it's not for them. Get that Christian evangelism crap out of your mind. You talk to plenty of people about Yah, but you need to understand that this is his doing. That's right. If they are his sheep, they will hear. Because see, it's not your word that you're speaking to his word. You hear? The word is what's spirit and what's life. You follow me? And when you say the word, you're saying the words and you have the voice of the shepherd. Think about it. When somebody speaks to you, especially this message, even while we're going on in here today, I'll say something in some type of form or parable or a story, and I say, anybody hear me? The ones that are his, they hear. Just like we talk about blind Bartimaeus. We talk about different places that people were at and where he was on the road. You follow me? The people who had ears to hear, they were hearing. You could see it. Some people was just like, oh man, they were all tearing up, getting beside themselves, and other people was looking around. That's a telltale sign. Let me know whose he is. Because the shepherd has a certain voice. You get it? Read.
Then said Jesus unto them again, Verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers.
Y'all hear? Now, mind you, who's sitting around listening to him while all this is going on? Scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, everybody else. Come on.
But the sheep did not hear them.
But the who?
The sheep didn't hear them.
They've been mesmerized by false teachings, religion. Come on.
I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture. The thief cometh not, but to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. I am the
Think about that for a second. Every time that you're being led by the shepherd, your life, you're going to have it more abundantly. You're not talking about riches and glory and all this other stuff. No, you're talking about this abundant life. I give you the first trait of the abundant life. Anybody want to know? Yes. Somebody say peace. Peace past all understanding. Peace in the midst of the storm. My peace. Let's say you have a family. Let's say a man, a man like me that's got 50 women. I think I missed a spot, man. Yeah, come and get this spot real quick, man. There's a spot right there. A little bit right here too, man. Thank you very much. Can't wait to see what the heathen do, huh? Wherever you see me and my women go, myself and my women, is that better English? How do you tolerate me, Brittany? You just learn to listen to the Spirit, right? You can just take note. I've been with Jesus. You'll see order. Not only on the show, on the outward, it's going to be order even behind the scenes. Because what you see outside is what's already taking place on the inside. You hear that? Because I'm the head of my house. And I'm charged to feed, to protect, and to guide. You follow me? That's what the shepherd wants with his sheep. You get it? Read this verse again, the last one.
The thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy.
Come on.
I am come that they might have life.
Have what?
Have life.
And have it how?
And that they might have it more abundantly.
More abundantly.
I am.
You know somebody's going to do everything they can to act out like the thief. I'm jumping analogies here. This way the spirits lead me. Because you know Israel is built upon families. You can't get the family in order, then the house ain't going to be in order. If a man can't rule his own house, how shall he take care of the house of Yah? Uh-oh. It's amazing when a house is in order and in perfect harmony. Everybody wants to be around that house. Everybody does. Nobody wants to be in the house where there's contention, including the head of the house. He'd rather be on the roof. Let's think about this for a second. So if the thief coming out but to steal, kill, and destroy, let me see. Steal joy. Kill love. Separate and divide the family, which is destroying. Think about that. Think about that. Somebody's yielding to Satan, the thief. See, we're waiting on the thief to come through the door when the thief is sitting right here in the home. Ain't you got any discernment? Now you cannot ever blame the house for being out of order. It's the leaders that's out of order. If the house is out of order, because the leader is out of order. Look, I have a body. We'll use this as an analogy, right? I have a body. I got a head on top of it. Does my head have to tell the body that it's the head? It's already the head. It functions like the head. It acts like the head. It leads like the head. Wherever the head say, the body goes. The head never has to go around establishing his place or position. Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me out there, you hard heads? Because the book doesn't say if the body is sick, the head is sick. The book said if the head is sick, the whole body is sick. Did I say something? I'm getting all these crazy, strange looks, man. See, we want to blame the body for not being right. The head ain't right. Y'all don't have no problem with his body. Is there rebellion in the house? Not in y'all's house, it ain't. They may be rebellion in your temple, but if there's rebellion, you ain't in his house. Because he ain't going to let you in his house. Well, I'm in the house. No, he ain't either. Because we're going to learn something about that a little bit later, too. To see how y'all does. Told you, the way that this world has constructed your mind, the way that the creator of this universe is, they have misled y'all, misguided y'all, deceived y'all on purpose. All for the destruction of your soul. So stop blaming the foot when the head is wrong. Stop bringing the hand when the head is wrong. Stop bringing the arm when the head is wrong. Don't blame the leg when the head is wrong. Uh-oh. Hey, sorry, Kabir. Look like they done took up all the tape. Kabir told me to tell y'all that don't take up the tape. But brother, hey, I was in the medic's tent. Kabir's right going, oh man. Read on.
I am the good shepherd.
And he is. So I love talk like that. Come on.
The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep.
Did he not do it? Yes. Come on. And you think about it, because if somebody's trying to come in and attack the flock, the shepherd going to be there. He don't care what the threat is. He gonna confront that threat, because that threat is trying to get to the sheep. If it wasn't a shepherd there to fight the wolf, then the wolf would get to the sheep. You hear me? If I didn't stop some of these damn wolves trying to get to y'all, next thing you know, you'll be believing that David is king now. You believe that David is the Messiah. You'll believe that you don't have to keep the commandments no more. You won't believe it. That's why you got to stop the wolf. Come on.
But he that is a hireling.
He's a what?
A hireling.
A hireling.
And not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep and fleeth.
That's what happened with the Bishop Paul S. Morton in that assembly down there in Katrina. Katrina was nasty on Louisiana. Was you there when they did that too? You were there? You was living there? Then I think they busted the levees. That's my own personal opinion. I don't have a dog in the race, but I think they busted the levees. Because I remember before Katrina. No, it was after Katrina I saw you, wasn't it? It was after Katrina. And I was driving down in Louisiana. I'm driving around, I'm looking, because I got a habit of looking at landscape. You know what I mean? And surroundings. And I mean, looking at stuff, and I go, because Carol don't know. I go, does it seem like we're going below sea level to you? Carol, you know, I know we on dry land. She don't know. We on a bridge. I don't know. I'm like, damn, something's wrong. When I got there down, I said, man, are we down in a damn valley or something like this and the sea is around us? He go, oh yeah. I go, why the hell you living here? Did I not ask you that for real? I didn't mind staying at the house for a few days, but I want to get the hell up out of there. I didn't feel safe at all, man. I'm sorry if I don't relish water crashing in on me. Oh, Pastor, that's just because you're a paranoid schizophrenic. But Paul S. Morton, as soon as them levees and everything bust all that water good, he got in his airplane and he took off. And no sheep were on the plane. He came back later after everything was cleaned up and the smoke was clear. He gets up there and thinks, we've been through a lot, y'all. I like that damn hireling. But it don't bother me none, because the blind lead the blind. And they both belong in that soup bowl, the ditch. Didn't bother me at all. Read on.
And the wolf catcheth them and scattereth the sheep.
What is the whole idea the wolf want to do? Come on.
The hireling fleeth because he is a hireling, and careth not for the sheep.
Paul S. Morton and all the rest of them out there. Come on.
I am the good shepherd.
Man, look at y'all. Come on.
And know my sheep, and am known of mine. As the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice. And there shall be one fold and one shepherd.
That's it. John 21:15. When therefore they had eaten breakfast, Yeshua said to Shimon Kepler, Shimon, son of Yonah, do you love me? I'm reading from the scriptures versions, okay? More than these. You know, this is the Messiah talking to Peter, right? Watch this. He said unto him, yes, master. You know that I love you. He said to him, feed my lambs. Now, wait a minute. The question he asked was, do you love me more than these? And he says, yes, master. I love you. The reply was, feet is what? All right. Gets interesting. He said unto him again, the second time, Shimon, son of Yonah, do you love me? He said to him, yes, master, you know that I love you. He said to him, shepherd my sheep. You getting that? He's telling them things that he can do to show that you love him. Is that right? He said to him the third time, Shimon, son of Yonah, do you love me? Kepler was sad because he said to him the third time, as in doubt, do you love me? And he said to him, master, you know all. Because, he got to be sad because he's sitting in front of him. He knows all. He must know that there must be something in me I don't. Could anything been going through his head? You know that I love you. Yahshua said to him, feed my sheep. See what a shepherd would do? They're going to do what? That's how he knows that I love him. You can sit up here and lift up hands all day long. Huh? Saying you love him, but if you don't feed his sheep, you don't love him. All right. Root causes of rejection. Rejection is the results of rejection. Understand this first. That we all have had many generations of rejection working in us. Many generations working in us. Some of you still wear it now. You can't even open up and be happy in life because you're so closed up because of all the rejection, the shields, the walls that's done built up. The results of rejection is there, but it's left to us to figure this thing out. So let's look into the past so we can see the victory of our future. All right? To defeat rejection, we have to work from the back and move to the front, meaning starting at the roots. You get it? That's why I showed that tree an analogy. Now, there are many different rejection types. Okay? Rejection from the room, hereditary rejection, and then you have self-rejection. You get it? Among many of them. Now, y'all know what a synonym is, right? Yes, sir. Who knows what a synonym is? Who know how to define what a synonym is? And anybody know how to word? They can spell the word. They don't know what it means. What is a synonym, Brother Rich?
It is a word which has the same meaning as another word.
Y'all hear that? In other words, you could take a word and it relates to the word. There's a bunch of meanings that relate to this one word is joined together. That make sense? So, behavior, actions, and responses, you'll need to discern from people's speech. You need to discern from their what? To determine if there's a rejection spirit working in them. All right? Aggressive attitudes. Stubbornness. Defiance, rebellion. Refusing counsel or comfort. Rejection of others. Harshness or hardness towards others. Skepticism. Unbelief. All of these are underbrushes or synonyms to the rejection when you have behavior problems and actions towards others. You hear that? Self-rejection symptoms are fear of failure, fear of others, fear of others' opinions, which change to anxiety, worry, depression, negativity, hopelessness, despair. Keep going, we're going to be in deliverance, ain't we? Inadequacy. You get that? Also, low self-image, insecurity, sadness, grief, sorrow. All these are self-rejection symptoms. Also associated with self-rejection symptoms are self-accusation and self-condemnation. The inability or refusal to communicate. All these affect the personality of the person. Y'all hear that? Because remember, we're supposed to be filled with love, joy, peace, long-suffering, peace, mental goodness, faith, temperance, and meekness. Fruit of the Spirit. So how can we call ourselves protecting ourselves to counter fear of rejection? Or how can we call ourselves protecting ourselves to counter fear of rejection? If fear of rejection is there, how do you counter it? These are the ways that we mask evil spirits. We self-protect ourselves. We're really protecting the spirits that have been working in us all this time. We're self-centered. Only in my world, my little circle. And that doesn't work. Isolation. Also, competition. Aloneness. Pride. Arrogance and manipulation and possessiveness. Check this one. You got to get this one. This is another way that we mask evil spirits of rejection. Emotional immaturity. Perfectionism. Imperfection. Self-righteous self-justification. Brother Saint, get Genesis chapter 4, verses 1 through 9. And as you can see, that's a loaded spirit. He is loaded. Loaded for battle. Now, don't worry about it. There's plenty for you to do. You got the rest of your life to work on it. Ain't no need in feeling in despair now. You've been living all these years with it. So ain't no need to have an anxiety attacks. Read.
And Adam knew Eve, his wife,
Mm-hmm.
and she conceived and bare Cain,
Come on.
and said, I have gotten a man from the master.
Read on.
And she said, and she again bare his brother, Abel.
Mm-hmm.
And Abel was a keeper of sheep,
Go ahead.
but Cain was a tiller of the ground.
Uh-huh.
And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the master. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and of the fat thereof. And the master had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain,
Hold on. The master had respect. To who?
unto Abel,
And his what?
his offering.
Two different attitudes here. Keep going.
But unto Cain and to his offering, he had not respect.
You know the reason why? Simply because he didn't do what he had asked him to. Come on.
And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
Now, why you get mad when you don't do what the master tell you to? Huh? Think about that. And his countenance fell, meaning you get mad at the authority. Is that right? Stubbornness. Behavioral problems. Come on.
And Yahweh said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted?
If you do well, will you not be accepted? There's more to it than just a rejection of the offering. Cain wanted to keep his own will. Because in this, you're going to see what I went over early: aggressive attitude, defiance, rebellion, rejection of his brother, unbelief in Yah, and skepticism, and harshness towards his brother. Read on.
And if thou doest not well, sin lieth.
What's at the door?
Sin lieth at the door.
Come on.
And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him.
Isn't that amazing? And we saw that this spirit permeate throughout all mankind. Even when we get up to the relationship of Saul and David. Here's a shepherd boy and a king. Why a king can't worry himself and cumber himself over a shepherd boy? I'll give y'all a nugget, the reason why. Y'all want to know the reason why? Yes, all because of disobedience or rebellion. Cain had a way to go. All he had to do was choose to obey the master's way. Everything would have been fine. Saul, all he had to do was just obey what Yah had told him, but he had his own way. He had his own way. I'm telling you, all this is not only wrapped in rebellion, which is witchcraft, but it causes people to have these aggressive attitudes. And they become defiant. And they refuse counsel. See, with Saul, it made him make light of Yah's word. He had gotten forgiven a few times. That's saying forgive me. He thought he could do it again. Made light of it. Oh, just let me just do some penance. Samuel, come on. Do away with it. Y'all let him do it 1 or 2 times. After that, gave him the axe, the wire. Read on.
And Yahweh said unto Cain,
What is that?
Where is Abel thy brother?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?
Keep going.
And he said, Why hast thou done? What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground.
Y'all hear that? Y'all already knew what he had done. He was trying to get him to get it out of his own mouth. Instead, he remained obstinate, didn't he? Heart hardened. Sin entered in. Murder. In comes Satan. Mind you, all this came from the first monolygamous family. I mean, your polygamous family's got problems. I guess they learned it from monolygamy. Got to originate from somewhere. Look at him looking. Come on. Oh, man, I need to start making this stuff draw out, man. Go to 1 Samuel 8, 1 through 10. This, you need to listen. I know you should have been listening the whole time, but can I get some undivided attention? Meaning that your thoughts ain't running over here while you sitting here. Or your thoughts running over there while you sitting here. Need you here. Come on.
And it came to pass, when Samuel was old, that he made his sons judges over Israel.
Come on.
Now, the name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second, Ahiah. They were judges in Beersheba.
Read.
And his sons walked not in his ways.
Y'all hear that? Samuel's a great prophet. He was a great prophet. He the real deal. Come on.
But turned aside after Lucah, and took bribes and perverted judgment.
Y'all hear that? What his sons do? Read on.
Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together.
Got to. Come on.
And came to Samuel unto Ramah, and said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations.
See what happened now? The people didn't want to be ruled by tyranny. Did not want to be ruled by a dishonest hand. Are you following me? That's what they said, right? Basically, because now you the judge it, and this is what's coming behind you. is this. No. We want a king. Watch this.
But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto Samuel, hearken unto the voice of the people.
Now let's stop for a second. See, because Samuel's displeased because he realizes the way that Israel's getting ready to go, which is the way of the nations. They're coming because all they see in front of them is these two rebellious. But see, Samuel ain't dead yet. They're jumping the gun of judgment. So he prayed to Yahweh, and then Yahweh he talks to Samuel and tells him this, read.
Hearken unto the voice of the people,
Listen to him.
and all that they say unto thee. For they have not rejected thee,
Not you.
but they have rejected me.
Mm-hmm.
That
Isn't that
I
what it
should
says
not-
in the New Testament? It even goes so far down to say, if they don't receive you, they don't receive me. He didn't say just anybody who's called apostle, prophet, evangelist, pastor, and teacher. He said you. When you're speaking his word, if they reject you, then they reject him. That's some serious power right there. Because you're the sheep of his pastor, you're in the kingdom. He done spread this thing out so much because he put his spirit inside of you, determined not to speak your own words but his. They're not rejecting just you, they're rejecting him. Come on.
But they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them.
See, they don't want y'all reigning over them. So the real underlying issue is not the sons as it seemed. They really don't want y'all, because that's what y'all are saying. He said what's really in their heart is they don't want me reigning over them. Come on.
According to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this
What
day.
hypocritical people that they are to sit up there and look at his sons and how dirty they running when they dirty themselves. Still dirty. Been doing it ever since you come up out of Mizraim. Read on.
Wherewith they have forsaken me and served other mighty ones.
Then there's something. Samuel I guess he wasn't barking and banking on all that in his prayer, wasn't he? Y'all coming out with it, though. Come on.
So do they also unto thee. Now therefore hearken unto their voice.
Mm-hmm.
Howbeit, yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them.
You hear that? And just give a little slight protest there to show them what type of king they're going to have, and let's see if they still going to want it. Come on.
And Samuel told all the words that Yahweh said unto the people that asked of him a king.
Now, you know what's happening, right? The people are listening to Samuel, what he's saying and stuff, and they still got their eyes fixed on his sons. Come on.
And he said, this will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, to be his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots. And he will appoint him captain over thousands and captains over 50s, and will set them to ear his ground, and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war and instruments of his chariots. And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries, and to be cooks, and to be bakers. And he will take your fields, and your vineyards, and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants. And he will take the tenth of your seed and of your vineyards, and give to his officers and to his servants. And he will take your men servants and your maid servants and your goodliness young men and your asses, and will put them to his work. He will take the tenth of your sheep, and ye shall be his servants. And ye shall cry out in that day because of your king, which he shall have chosen you. And Yahweh will not hear you in that day. Nevertheless, the people refused to.
Woo-wee. That's something. Nevertheless, the people did what?
Refused to
Read.
obey the voice of Samuel. And they said, nay, but we will have a king over us.
Listen, now, mind you, Samuel is telling them, not Yah directly, even though he's speaking directly. He's speaking directly, but it's indirectly. You hear it? Y'all getting this? They only see Samuel. And you know how it is. Oh, that's, you know what I mean. He can tell us anything. With that kind of mindset they got, he can tell us anything that Yah says. It's a pretty hard position there. Come on.
Nay, but we'll have a king over us, that we also may be like all the nations.
That's the problem. Anything good, we just don't want, Israel. We don't want nothing good. We just don't. You only have a few people that want the good and the rest of them want the bad, and it gives the few the bad name. Isn't that a mess? Go ahead.
That our king may judge us.
Isn't that something? We don't even want the creator of the universe to judge us. We want our king to judge us. That's bad. Come on.
To go out before us and to fight our battles.
Y'all was fighting your battles, but now you want a king to fight your battle. And he's going to be the first one to put your sons out in front of his chariots. See, back then, kings used to get out on the battlefield. Today, they stay in Washington, D.C. at the Pentagon, hiding in 6-foot thick bunkers, concrete walls, and got security everywhere. Whole world going to hell and destruction, but they safe. Come on.
And Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them into the ears of Yahweh.
Now, y'all heard them, you know what I mean, but go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto Samuel, hearken unto their voice, and make them a king. And Samuel said unto the men of Israel, go ye every man unto his city.
All right, here we go. 1 Samuel 15:23. For rebellion is as a sin of what? Stubbornness is as iniquity and what? But because thou hast did what? Rejected the. In other words, you know we still doing the same thing today. Rejecting the word of Yah. Most people rejected the word of Yah this way. Oh, I heard what he said, but I ain't got to listen to him. I'm going to read my own word. Uh-oh. Yah's always, even though he had kings, he still had prophets in the kingdom. Had mouthpieces to speak to the ones that wasn't so rebellious. But this case, they rejected the word of Yah coming by Samuel. Saul did. He rejected the word of Yahweh. He has also, look at this, rejected thee from being what? Think on this for a moment. Yah rejected Saul because Saul rejected the Most High many times and relaxed his word. Yah also rejected Saul's kingship that he gave him, but allowed Saul to stay king until his death. You get it? They eat his fruit, you ain't going to die. You get it? You ain't going to die. So, you eat the fruit, you ain't dead. See the illusion? Oh, excuse me. So you eat the fruit, and you ain't dead, so look at the illusion. You're still alive, yet you're dead. You get that? You're king, but you've been rejected by Yah, but you're still king. The people who leave Yah, dang, in rebellion. If they leave him in rebellion, they don't ever deny, oh, I still love Jesus. Only some of them deny. Rest of them, no, I'm still got alive, still got testimony of their mouth, but he ain't with them. Uh-oh. How you know he ain't with them? Just wait for a little while and watch. Their lifestyle's going to tell you. Y'all also removed his presence from Saul, showing that he rejected his kingship. But he still was king. That's the emphasis I want to keep making. Saul still was king. Do you comprehend? See, it's very important for you to receive not only the word, but the vessel Yah is using. You get it? So we know the account, right? We know what ends up happening to every single one of them, right? Huh? So Saul ended up going out to battle and ended up dying. But Yah still rejected him. And in the midst of all that, look what happened. Evil spirits came in and tormented him. Opened himself wide open. Still king. I hope that's not happening to some of you. You're still a brother or sister. You're still a saint, but you're still being tormented because of your rebellion or your stubbornness. See, back then, judgment would have been swift. Right now, you're under grace, as they tell you. Not grace to keep on sinning and have a license to sin, hoping that you would repent and come to the knowledge of the truth. Because if you don't, you're going to continue to keep going from bad to worse. You'll still be claiming to be a brother and sister, but then die in your sin. You better hear me. That's what we got going on a lot in Israel. Still got everybody hollering, I'm a brother, I'm a sister, I'm Israel, such and such, so and so, so on, but you're rebellious. And you're stubborn, full of witchcraft. But I'm still a brother and sister. Saul was still king too until he died. You'll be a brother and sister too until you die. Oh yeah, you will. You'll be a brother and sister until you die. See that reprobate? See that strong delusion? 1 Thessalonians 2:13, we're almost done. For this cause, also think we Yah without ceasing, because when you receive the word of Yah, which you heard of who? That's why you hear. Not because you ain't never heard the word of Yah before, but it's the word of Yah you heard from us. You received it not as the word of men, but as it is in truth the word of Yah, which effectively work also in you that believe. For you, brethren, became followers of the assemblies of Yahweh, which is in Judea, excuse me, in Christ Jesus. Can you only imagine if I did unleavened bread? Whew. For you also have suffered like things of your own countrymen, even as they have the Yehudim, who both killed the Master Jesus and their own prophets and have persecuted. And they please not Yahweh and are contrary to all men. Here it is. This is why I keep telling you about these so-called Israelites. Forbidding us to speak to the nations, that they might be, ooh boy. Look what happens anytime you have this spirit where you're trying to forbid others to speak to the nations. To fill up their sins always, for the wrath is come upon them to the uttermost. Y'all hear that? Remember, woe unto you when men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers of the what? Why is the false prophets always spoke well of? And the ones that are speaking true, they always spoken evil of. Have you figured it out yet? This right here, you need to try to commit to memory. 1 Corinthians 10:21, you cannot drink of the cup of the master and the cup of devils. You cannot be partaker of the master's table and the table of devils. You're going to make a decision. All praise to the Most High Yah. May He grant you ears to hear is my prayer for you. In other words, that's what a shepherd is, and rejection is something seriously that need to be worked on. Because all these, and I'll name them real quick again: aggressive attitude, stubbornness, defiance, rebellion, refusing counsel or comfort, rejection of others, harshness or hardness towards others, skepticism and unbelief, fear of others' opinions, anxiety, worry, depression, negativity, hopelessness, despair, inadequacy, low self-esteem, insecurity, sadness, grief, sorrow, self-accusation, self-condemnation, inability or refusal to communicate. All of them are self-rejection spirits. All right? The spirit of rejection that masks itself is self-protectiveness, self-centeredness, isolation, competition, aloneness, pride, arrogance, manipulation, possessiveness, emotional immaturity, perfectionism, self-righteousness, and self-justification. Y'all can go back and look at the video again. But anyway, it's more important for you to hear. See, just in that principality alone, you got work to do. You got some serious work to do. This thing ain't nothing to play with. No way, shape, fashion, or form. It ain't, because all it's going to do is bring about Satan's kingdom in your life. Y'all hear me? That's all it's going to do. So you got to be you got to be true. I just had a thought. Somebody said, won't you heal yourself, preacher? Well, I'm suffering that which is common to man. You don't believe me? Look how many people cough. Cuh. It's crazy things. These folks crazy, ain't they? Glory to the King. But anyway, hey, don't take spiritual warfare lightly. If you become proactive, your life will. I mean, look at me, man. Look at my life, man. It's full of peace. Look at my family's life, man. It's full of peace. You look at Straightway as a whole, man. Our life's mostly full of peace. The only time we ever get disturbed when you come around. Every time we see Mike, we go, oh shit, damn, he coming. Oh God. Ooh, you fasted up. Ain't enough fast you can do on that one, Pastor. For real. But if you don't do something about these spirits, they're already doing something about you, and they still planning on your destruction. And believe me, there's enough of these things to go around. The only way you're going to get free, the only way you want the peace, the love, the joy, and the happiness that you're seeking for in life, you're going to have to submit to God's word. And you're going to have to get deliverance. You about sitting there having a pouting party and running around with loaded spirits, they ain't going to do it. And I don't understand how some of you can come year after year after year after year and you don't even know how to do deliverance. How with all this that goes on, you don't know how to actually cast out the devil? Something's wrong, isn't it? Something is wrong. All right, let us stand, Israel. All right, glory to the King. Man, I enjoy seeing y'all faces, though. You too, Mike. Hallelujah. Good seeing you again, bro, Robert. Hallelujah. It's good seeing all y'all. It really is. When I walked in here today, I said, man, there's a whole bunch of people here today. Wow, glory to the King. They still hanging around. Hallelujah. Appreciate all the labor of love that many of you have put on the tabernacle. All you fine brothers and y'all back. Appreciate it. Y'all made our job a little bit easier. Glory to the King. Don't try to figure out a way that we can put everybody's name that worked on the tabernacle somewhere in there. Or maybe make a plaque or something and stick it on there. Wouldn't it be nice? Hell, it's better than the damn Constitution. Be some paper like that, man. At least Israel's there. Heavenly Father, we do thank you for all these truths, and he's saying we pray that they sink deep down in our heart. More they're still here, Father. We are asking in advance for a safe destiny, safe trip, and return of our precious family back to their destinations. Watch over them over the highways. Keep hurt, harm, and danger away from them. No mechanical failures, any way, shape, fashion, or form. We thank you for the Israelites that you've already taken home. Thank you for your words of truth, and thank you more than anything for actually being with us and confirming your word. What we need is more of our understanding open to comprehend and understand you. We bless you for the blood. Thank you for the blood of Jesus. We give you the glory for all things. Magnificent name of Jesus. Hallelujah. Shabbat shalom. King coming.